What if I told you the so-called dumb cavemen were actually smarter than we ever imagined? From cooking with herbs to building mysterious underground structures, Neanderthals weren't just club-swinging brutes. They were clever, curious, and creative. Forget the stereotype, because the real story of cavemen will blow your mind. Chapter 1. Debunking the stereotype. When you hear the word caveman, what pops into your head? A grunting man with wild hair, dragging a club? Maybe someone shouting, "Ugh," while living in a dark cave. For decades, Neanderthals were mocked as dumb, slow, and primitive. But here's the twist. That image is totally wrong. Neanderthals were a species of early humans who lived in Europe and parts of Asia from about 430,000 to 40,000 years ago. They're often called cavemen because many of their remains were found in caves, but that doesn't mean they lived there full time. Caves were just great for preserving history. They were our closest relatives, so close in fact that most modern humans, especially those from Europe and Asia, still carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA. Yep, if you've ever taken a DNA test and found out you're 2 to 3% Neanderthal, that's not a glitch. Our species mated with them thousands of years ago. Chapter 2. Life in the Ice Age. Neanderthals survived during some of the harshest times in human history, the Ice Age. Imagine freezing temperatures, dangerous predators like saber-toothed cats, and massive animals like woolly mammoths and rhinos roaming around. Just surviving in that environment was a sign of serious skill. They didn't just get by, they thrived. Neanderthals lived in small social groups, often moving around with the seasons. They hunted large animals in teams, planned their attacks, and used sophisticated tools to bring down prey. These weren't just random rocks. They used a specialized set called the Mousterian Toolkit, which included scrapers, knives, and spear tips made from flint. Later, they developed even more advanced tools in what's known as the Chattel-Perronian culture, blades sharp enough to be used as throwing weapons. Chapter 3. Food, Medicine, and Foraging. We often assume cavemen just ate raw meat, right? Not even close. When researchers examined hardened plaque, yes, tartar, on Neanderthal teeth, they made some incredible discoveries. Neanderthals cooked their food and ate grains, vegetables, and even medicinal plants like yarrow and chamomile. These have no nutritional value, but are known to help with things like inflammation and digestion. So not only did Neanderthals know what plants to eat, they also seemed to understand medicine in a basic way. That's a big deal. Chapter 4. Caring and Culture. One of the most powerful signs of intelligence is empathy, and Neanderthals had it. There's strong evidence that they cared for the sick and injured. Fossils have shown signs of old broken bones that had clearly healed, meaning others had to care for the injured person over a long time. They didn't just leave the weak behind, they also buried their dead. In some sites, archaeologists have found burial grounds with items like tools or animal bones placed near the body, suggesting they believed in honoring the dead or even in some kind of spiritual life. They also used red ochre, a natural clay color, for decoration or rituals, maybe even as body paint, as far back as 250,000 years ago. Chapter 5. The Mystery of Bruniquel Cave. One of the biggest breakthroughs in understanding Neanderthal intelligence came from a cave in southern France called Bruniquel Cave. Sealed off for tens of thousands of years, it was rediscovered in the 1990s. Deep inside, 330 meters from the entrance, archaeologists found 6 ring-like structures made from broken stalagmites. These stone circles weren't natural, they were intentionally built. Some of them were burnt, meaning Neanderthals had to bring fire into the cave to see what they were doing. These rings date back 176,000 years, long before modern humans even arrived in Europe. But why did they build them? No one knows for sure. Maybe they were used for rituals, gatherings, or to keep animals like cave bears away. Whatever the reason, it took planning, teamwork, and symbolic thinking, all signs of advanced intelligence. Chapter 6. Neanderthal Art and Expression. For a long time, scientists believed only Homo sapiens could create art, but Neanderthals said, "Hold my flint." From carvings on bones to pigment use and now those mysterious stone circles, there's growing evidence that Neanderthals had a sense of creativity and symbolism. Some cave art thought to be made by modern humans has now been dated to before our species arrived in the region, meaning Neanderthals may have done it. And if you think cave art is just doodles on walls, think again. These could have been ways to communicate, mark territories, or express emotions. That's culture, the same thing that supposedly made us unique. Chapter 7. So, what happened to them? With all this amazing intelligence and creativity, you might be wondering, what happened to the cavemen? Why did they disappear? Scientists still aren't sure, but they have a few ideas. Some think that early modern humans like us may have been better at making tools, working together in larger groups, or adapting to new environments. This may have helped them survive while the cavemen struggled. Others believe that climate change made it harder for cavemen to find food and shelter, which led to their decline. But here's the most interesting part. Maybe they didn't disappear. Many experts believe cavemen mixed with our ancestors, and part of them still lives on in us. If a DNA test shows you're 2 or 3% Neanderthal, that's not just a fun fact. It's proof that cavemen are still part of who we are today. Chapter 8. Not so dumb after all. It's time to stop calling people Neanderthal as an insult. Because the truth is, Neanderthals were intelligent, resilient, and deeply human. They hunted together, cooked their meals, used natural medicine, buried their loved ones, and maybe even created symbolic art. Sure, they didn't build smartphones, but surviving the Ice Age with stone tools, fire, and raw smarts, that takes serious brain power. So next time someone calls you a caveman, just smile and tell them you're 3% genius. So what do you think? Were Neanderthals smarter than we give them credit for? Do you believe they had a culture just like us? And would you be curious to meet one if you could? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, we'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss more mind-blowing history and science stories. Thanks for watching, and remember, brains come in all shapes and species.